Hello everyone, I'm Tommy with StudioScents. Thanks for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 hidden gems of winter fragrances. I will say that I've seen a few of these in other fragrance reviewers' lists, so kudos and shout out to them who have featured these. But today we're going to be talking about where you can find them, how much they are, and what I think they're good for. So let's get right into it. Now I know I recently did a top 10 winter fragrances for 2019. This is 2020. This is early January 2020. These I'm not going to give a specific time. I'm just going to say that they're timeless. You can use them for this winter, upcoming winter. You could have used them in the past. They're not super new and they're not super old. Some of them have been around for a while, some of them were recently released. Collectively, they make 5 winter fragrances that you need to have, in my estimation, in your winter rotation. Now this isn't a top 5 or a countdown, I'm just listing 5 in no particular order. So starting off, we're going to be talking about Bentley for... Jesus. I just about threw that at the camera. Great start. Bentley for Men Absolute. Now this is in a completely black bottle. The presentation I feel is awesome. These bottles, if you have one, you'll agree with me, are super heavy and super well made. I really like how the lid feels when it goes on, it comes off. When you open up the lid, on the inside, indented, is the embossed Bentley logo there, which is really nice. And this fragrance has a really nice, it's got a really nice oud, an agar wood base, an aromatic incense base. One of the reasons that I like Bentley for Men Absolute is it kind of reminds me of Halloween Man X. That actually made my top 10 winter list. Bentley Intense for Men made my top 10 winter list. So there's a relationship there in terms of some of the notes in Bentley for Men Absolute is papyrus, pink pepper. The ginger gives it that wake up call to your nose, along with a cedar, a nice cedar, and a sandalwood and amber base to round out this very oriental, woody, aromatic fragrance. Now one thing I like about Bentley for Men Absolute is the projection is really good on this. It's not loud, so you can actually spray 3 or 4 sprays of this. Expect that to last you all day. I get a good 8 to 10 hours of this. Not surprising, being that it's related to Bentley for Men Intense, which also gets me that same type of longevity. Highly recommend Bentley for Men Absolute. Now Absolute can be found at fragrance.net, at perfume.com. You can get it for under 40 bucks. The next fragrance, I actually made a fragrance list of mine. Top 5 desirable or attractive or seductive or alluring fragrances for men, and that is Dunhill's Desire. Now this is a very well-known bottle. People call it the red bottle. I really like the hexagonal shape. If you can see it in the camera there, I'll actually do like this. You can see how that, when you put that in your pocket, it wraps around the front of your leg, almost like a flask pops off. It's really cool. This fragrance is absolutely heady. What I love about this is it's incredibly inexpensive. When you see the price, you'll be surprised. I believe it's under 20 bucks or just above 20 bucks, somewhere around there. And incredible deal for the price, because this is a very classic fragrance. It has a semi-sweet profile to it. Now what's neat about this is you have a well-rounded mix of notes in here. You have bergamot, you have lemon, you have apple. In the mid, you've got rose, teak wood, and patchouli sitting on a base of musky vanilla. Now that sounds like a lot. Dunhill Desire does an amazing job of mixing and blending these into something that really it's hard to pull your nose out of. Desire, and it's a perfect name for it too. When you smell it, it pulls vivid, visual, sensual imagery, and it is a great winter fragrance. This is the kind of fragrance that when a woman smells it on you, it makes her want to cuddle up to you next to a fire, wearing only a blanket. So just because it is so inexpensive, I recommend the 100 ml bottle. You can't get a better deal than this. Love that presentation. Alfred Dunhill's Desire for Men. Coming up next on the list is one that I have talked about before. Hugo Boss, I'll turn it this way. Hugo Boss Absolute. You can see that. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a big fan of Hugo Boss's house. Yes, they've released fragrances that are skin scents. Is this a skin scent? No, it is not. It has really good longevity and really good projection for me. I will say the projection isn't a beast. It's more timid or shy. So when I wear this one, I give it about 3 to 4 sprays along here, and especially on my forearm and the top of my hand. But the one thing that makes this such a lovely, lovely fragrance, all these that I'm going to be mentioning today are ones that you will enjoy as equally as the person who smells these on you. Cashmere. Cashmere is such a fantastic note, and just the fact that we can synthesize something that smells so good like this is amazing to me. Now, one thing I love about this is use cashmere, but it doesn't come across cheap or synthetic. It is very versatile. Yes, I recommend using it as a winter fragrance, but it bleeds into the warmer months as spring begins coming, things come out in bloom. This also makes a great spring into summer fragrance. Hugo Boss Bottle Absolute is something that you can find on eBay and Amazon. It is not, for whatever reason, on fragrance.net. I haven't found it on perfume.com yet. So Hugo Boss Bottled Absolute. Next on my list, I have not featured on any list as of yet, so this is the first time that I'm featuring this. And this is Bulgari Man Black Orient. Now, Black Orient is a luxurious and beautiful fragrance. One thing I'll tell you too, according about the presentation, this is a 50 ml bottle. Comes in a 100 ml bottle, of course, as well. The cap is a twist cap, so if you twist it and the atomizer is pointing sideways, you cannot spray it. That's just a protection for you. And you'll like the juice so much, you'll be happy that that has a protection. Turn it this way and you get a good spray out of that. Bulgari Man Black Orient is a woody, oriental, luxuriant, deeply affecting fragrance. This will put you in the mind of wintertime after the sun has gone down. It is very much a night fragrance. It's a date night fragrance. It's very alluring, very seductive, and it features an incensed, aromatic incense resin-based notes that keep her coming back for more and keep you wanting to spray more. The projection and longevity on this guy is really, really good because of the incense and resin base. Now, this is marketed as a fall fragrance, but fall going into winter, so I recommend it also for winter. Alberto Morillas is the nose behind this fragrance, of course. You can tell and smell his genius in the fragrance itself. It's a very lush oriental fragrance. You've got rum, cardamom, you've got 2 different kinds of roses in the mid that round out the floral notes from this, and then you've got a leather and an oud base that it's sitting on. Black Orient, I believe, is very unique in a fragrance because I like fragrances that use oud to push the best properties of the fragrance instead of oud suddenly become a leader and you smell a fragrance and that's all you smell is the oud. The oud in this does give it kind of a lightly animalic vibe and projection on this, but it's not anything that's challenging to the nose or negative. It enhances and highlights that floral note in the middle, and it mixes it with the leather and makes it a very, very masculine scent. This is a really interesting and unique profile, the DNA that is in Bulgari Man Black Orient. It's inexpensive, it's just the right price for this. Highly recommend putting it on your winter rotation. You'll really like it. Projection, longevity, at least 8 to 10 hours on this before you need to spray it again. So very, very pleasing, very good deal. Rounding out our number 5 on these 5 winter hidden gems is Davidoff Zeno. Zeno came out, 1998, making it a classic in my book. One thing I love about the Davidoff line is that, especially with Cool Water and Zeno, they use that lavender note to such good effect. Now, this starts out with bergamot, lavender, palisander, I believe, is in it, clary sage is in it. It does have a floral heart, but that floral heart is surrounded by woody notes that makes this uncompromisingly masculine. Some might smell this and say it's got a barbershop heart to it. It kind of does. Back in the mid to late 90s, the kind of fragrances that were being released for men were the ones that had a lot of notes and a lot of punch and heart, but they were kind of on the more of that aftershave shower gel side. This, however, puts me in the mind of a winter fragrance because it's got a deep, masculine, woodsy draw to it that isn't bright. Okay, on the spectrum of fragrances that cant toward darker and lighter, this is in the midline between light and dark, probably more on the darker side. That's why I really like this, and that's why, to my nose, this would make a great winter fragrance. Now, it is extremely inexpensive. You can get a 100 ml bottle for less than $20 at fragrance.net. And that's where I got this online discounter, online retailer. Some of the notes include Brazilian rosewood, you've got sandalwood, lavender, palisander, cedar, patchouli, vanilla. There's a lot of notes in this, and they're all well blended. I really enjoy Davidoff's Zeno, and I think you will too. Put these on your winter rotation. If you haven't got them yet, I would say put them on your shopping list. You're not going to spend a ton of money, but you're going to come away with a ton of value, and you'll really enjoy these as part of your winter rotation. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate the support. Make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe, like, and comment. I'm Tommy with StudioScents, and I'll see you next time.